All right, so you've got this friend, you've got this family member, this loved one, this spouse, whoever it is, who is a creative person who likes doing art. And they want to shoot videos or stream, or they're already doing that, and you're wondering, what can you get them for Christmas? Now, we know the creative process can be actually quite difficult to get started, and it takes a lot of motivation and energy. And what makes it even worse is when you sit down to actually start doing that stuff, and the equipment you have doesn't work well, or it takes forever to set up, and it can be that much more demotivating to actually create whatever it is that they want to create. So I want to share with you some things that I have got over the years that you could give as gifts that have helped me shoot videos and have definitely made my artistic journey that much easier. So again, the equipment I'm going to be sharing with you is stuff that I use to shoot art videos and stream doing art. It can obviously be used for other stuff. This is just stuff that I have used over the years that has been very helpful for me. Now I'm going to try to keep this concise, and I will have timestamps down below if you want to skip ahead to the specific equipment that I'm going to be talking about. So I will include links to all of this stuff to Amazon down below. If you click that and it goes through my affiliate program, I get a little percentage of anything that you're buying from there. So that's super helpful to me. The equipment that we're going to be discussing is going to be cameras, microphones, lighting, mounting hardware, the tablet that I use for drawing, and then capture card, which is just if you're going to be streaming. So that's what we're going to be discussing. You can always click ahead if you want to go to any of those things specifically. So let's jump straight into cameras, because cameras are actually a really big deal when you're shooting videos and pictures and stuff of your art. And when I started, I was just using this Logitech Stream Cam, which you can get online for about 65 bucks. It's good for shooting videos of your face. It was not so good for shooting videos of my art when I was trying to record stuff, because it just didn't have good white balance and good focus, and the settings weren't so great. So what I ended up doing was actually switching to this other camera. This was my Canon SL1, Rebel SL1, or 100D, which is a DSLR camera, and I was using this for my shot down because it just focused so much better. I could adjust settings on the screen, and it was just much clearer overall for shooting videos of the art. So this is another camera that I would recommend that I have used. Now, what I'm currently shooting on is the Canon M50 Mark II, which I recommend even more, and I will show you why. So I'm going to shoot this part on my iPhone just so that I can compare both cameras, since I was shooting with the other camera. This is the Canon SL1 or 100D, and this is the Canon M50 Mark II. So this is the newer one that I got, which I like much more. This has way more points of focus, so it stayed focused more often. And on top of that, still had a touchscreen, but the screen actually flips around. And you can use the touchscreen while it's actually looking at you. So I remember putting a mirror behind this so that I can actually see what was on the screen and make sure my face was in it. And now I don't have to do that because I have this awesome little flippy thing. So I recommend this for sure. This is what I shoot most of my videos with, and sometimes I will use this for my face when I'm streaming and so on. Now, you can pick up this Canon 100D or SL1 online for about 800 bucks. It is a full DSLR camera with easy interchangeable lenses. Now, the Canon M50 Mark II is a little cheaper. It's around 720, but you can spend 800 on Amazon right now, and you get a full streaming kit that comes with a microphone. It comes with a tripod that actually has a remote for it, and it works out great. So those are those two options. So there are two other options that I would like to tell you about that are not things that I have used, but they have good reviews. A lot of this stuff I get from Harris Heller on his YouTube channel, where he does a lot of tech reviews and stuff, especially for streaming. One of those is the Elgato Facecam, because I really like Elgato stuff and it has some good reviews. It is similar to the Logitech Stream Cam, but better, and it runs around 130 bucks. The other one is the Sony ZV-E10, which is a mirrorless camera like this one that I'm shooting on, and runs around the same price for around 700 bucks. So again, those links are down below if you want to check those. Now let's move on to microphones. Now, you might be asking yourself, Zach, what's the importance of having a microphone whenever you're just going to be shooting artistic videos? What do I need sound for? Well, if you plan on doing any type of voiceovers, or you want to do any instructional videos, or if you're streaming and you want to have a conversation with your audience, you want that audio to be clear. For example, you don't want this audio from the camera coming through that can be very difficult and hurtful on your ears versus this audio actually coming through my microphone. Some people actually say the audio is more important than the video. You have to remember that people are watching on all types of devices. They're watching on their computers through headphones. They're watching on their phones through headphones, or not through headphones, which is super obnoxious, but okay, whatever. And then they're watching on their TVs. Wherever they're watching from, you want the audio to be clear and understandable. I don't have a whole lot of experience with different microphones. The first one I ever bought was this Rode Go mic that looked like it was going to be awesome, plugs into both your phone or your camera, and it ended up being terrible. Had a lot of static, had a lot of feedback. Nobody understood why. When they contacted Rode, Rode said, just buy the more expensive one that doesn't have those problems. So I ended up going with this GXT 244 Buzz mic. I had no reviews on it. It just looked okay. Cost about $75 for me, and it turned out really good. I think the audio is really clear, as you can tell. There are a few other options out there on the market that are really popular. One is the Blue Yeti microphone, which runs anywhere between, I think, $60 to $130, depending on if you're getting used or a certain version. And then there is the Logitech G Yeti, and it is newer, also a USB mic, and it has a few different options and stuff with it. So you can check those out. That one runs around $150 or so. But again, audio is extremely important because you don't want obnoxious audio in your videos. Now let's talk about lighting. Now, lighting, if you're just doing videos where you're talking or informational or something like that, isn't as important. But when you're an artist, lighting is huge. If you're trying to stream or shoot a video and people can't see what you're drawing because you don't have that nice natural daylight, or your lighting sucks, like, what's the point in making the video in the first place? I went through so many cheap light options as I was trying to work on streaming and shooting videos, and I finally ended up getting and spending the money on this Elgato key light, which is about $160 online. And they have a few other options if you want smaller stuff. I wanted this because it also comes with the mount, which you can raise up really high and rotate. This thing is crazy. Right now it is at 7%. This is 100%. Not to mention I can adjust the temperature of the lighting as well. Now you do need to have Wi-Fi in order to run it, and run the app and so on. But what I do when I'm streaming now is I bring the light down and have it over my workspace and use cheaper lighting for my face, because seeing what I'm drawing is much more important in the end. So this is something I use for the main light, and it's the most important light, I think. Now that we're done talking about the light that actually matters and is important for your art videos, let's talk about what everybody really wants, the fun lighting, like the lighting behind me. Now I use two Philips Hue bars, which came in a kit for about $110, and you still got to get the Philips Hue bridge so you can connect it to the app. But the app is quite awesome, and you can do a lot of stuff with this, and it comes with a lot of pre-made things, like you can run Cancun or Sunset Allure or a Forest Adventure, or maybe Tokyo, because I guess this is Tokyo. Now again, this lighting isn't super important, but what it does is it really just creates another atmosphere for your videos, because having this is much better than having this. Now, again, not important for shooting your videos and for art stuff, but it just helps and makes it nicer to spice up your space. You can also get any of the nano leaves things and run those on your walls, or there's another brand called Govee now that has good reviews and has a lot of options, and I'm going to include that link as well in the description for you. So it's nice to just spice up your space with some fun lighting. Do you want to know what the most frustrating thing that I've dealt with ever when shooting videos? It's not lights, it's not cameras, it's actually mounting hardware for my lights and cameras. Because the amount of times I stacked up books or found the perfect height thing, or tried to find the perfect height thing to get my camera exactly where I wanted it so I could shoot a video that was probably going to be deleted anyways because something messed up and I had to do it all over again, was insane. There are so many videos I never shot because I just couldn't set up my cameras and lighting the way I really needed to. Now, I started out with something like this, which is cheap, but it's very not versatile. It really only goes one way. You can't swivel it. It just goes up and down. What I ended up doing again was going with Elgato stuff. Now, Elgato makes these multi-mounts. This is a small wall mount one. And the great thing is these bad boys will swivel every direction. And there are a bunch of extensions. You can get desk mounts, you can get light mounts, and they range anywhere between $40 and $60 depending on what you're getting, but they work out great. And it made such a difference for me to be able to move my camera here, move it back, not all these problems of figuring all this stuff out. So if you really love whoever this person is that you're searching these gifts for, you will buy them mounts like this so they don't have to stack a bunch of books and other nonsense anymore in order to shoot their videos. Now, another thing I should also bring up as far as mounts go is stuff for like desks or other places. I use this little crappy tripod thing for my phone. Would never use it for my camera. It actually sucks. I wish I had a better one. What I would love to get would be the Joby 3K, which could hold my bigger cameras, and it's much more adjustable and you can wrap it around things. It runs around 45 bucks on Amazon, but again, another great mount to help people who want to shoot these artistic kind of videos or just any videos in general, actually. Now, I know what you're thinking. Zach, you haven't actually shared any artsy stuff. You've just shared tech for shooting art videos. And you're right, because I also think those things are very important in order to shoot your videos. But here's something that actually deals with art. A lot of people ask me what drawing tablet I use, and occasionally I will use my iPad Pro, but when I'm actually connected to my computer and running things like Photoshop or Clip Studio, this is what I use. This was gifted to me actually, and it is an XP Pen 15.6 Pro. I think it is a great option and affordable. It's only about 300 bucks when you don't want to spend all that money on a Wacom. And it probably is just as good in some ways for whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Like XP Pen also makes a bunch of other products as well that you can check out. And so the other nice thing is because you're connecting it as a third monitor to your computer, when you're streaming, you just add this as one of your inputs so that people can see what you're drawing and you don't have to worry about a capture card. So again, great affordable option if you're wanting to draw. And again, you do need to connect it to your computer. It is not a standalone piece like an iPad or something like that. Now this brings us to our last piece of equipment that is really only important if you want to stream stuff. So if you don't care about streaming, don't worry about this. This is a capture card. Now I use the Elgato HD60S Plus. This bad boy, I'm pretty sure, is discontinued now, and it's something like the HD60X or something like that. I gave a link to all of the Elgato capture cards. What this does is it actually allows me to connect this camera, for example, when I'm streaming, instead of going through the Canon EOS stuff because it's not as good. Or the big frustration was because of Apple stuff, and I could not get my iPad to connect to my computer visually without all these other programs so that I could just stream and show what was happening on my iPad. So I ended up buying this for like 130 bucks or something like that. So again, only if you want to stream stuff does that matter. If not, no big deal. Don't worry about a capture card. You can also hook it up to your Xbox and other stuff if you want to use that in the future. All right, so I hope this is helpful for you so that you have some Christmas gift ideas for that artistic person in your life who maybe wants to shoot videos of their art. I know this was kind of long. I'm going to include all the links of all of the stuff that I talked about down below, and I'm going to include a few YouTube links for channels that I think would be super helpful. The first one is Senpai Gaming, Harris Heller, who does a lot of reviews on tech stuff and shooting videos. The same goes for Tesseract, and they also do awesome like studio setups. And the last one will be Think Media, which does a lot with growing your YouTube channel, shooting videos, and tech stuff reviews. I hope you have an awesome Christmas. I hope you can really bless somebody with mounts so they don't have to stack books anymore. Anyways, keep creating and be inspired.